Welcome to day 2 of workout 2.2, and we're thinking still about subtraction. We've got a missing number workout today. So let's have a look at this challenge here, see what's going on. We've got to put a 2-digit number in each circle and then find the difference between these two numbers that are next to each other and write the answer in here. Find the difference between these two and write it in here. Difference between these two and write it in here. So when we're finding the difference between, we're just subtracting, aren't we? So let's just write some numbers in and see what happens. I'm going to have a multiple of 10 in this one, so I'm just going to write 40 in here. I'm going to have 55, 21 and 32. Okay, so those are my starting numbers. I've just chosen random 2-digit numbers. So now I've got to work out the difference between them. I might need some jottings for this, mightn't I? The difference between 55 and 40, I could do it by counting on, couldn't I? So from 40, think about a number line maybe to help me. So I'm on 40 and I'm going to get to 55. I want to work out the difference between them. So I can do that by counting on. So 40 and 10 more means I've got 50, and another 5 is 55. So the difference between 40 and 55 is 15. Okay, so I'm going to jot that in here. So if you think of the calculations, that could have been 55 subtract 40 equals 15, or 40 add what equals 55. There's two ways of thinking of it, aren't there? Right? So now for this star here, I've got to do the difference between 21 and 55. So I could do it by counting on again, couldn't I? Or I could do it by taking away. It doesn't matter what strategy I use. So either way, 21, 31, 41, 51. So that's 34 is my difference between there. Difference between 21 and 32. Well, I can see that one quite nicely because my 10s have increased by 1 10 and my 1s have increased by 1. So therefore the difference between 21 and 32 is 11. So now we go again. So we look at these numbers here and I work out the difference again. So the difference between 15 and 34. That might be a bit trickier. I'm going to count that on my number line again. So 15 to 34. 15 add 10 is 25, yeah? 25 to 34. 25 and 5 would take me to 30. And then 4 more takes me to 34. I could have counted on my fingers from 25 to 34 if I needed to, okay? But 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 is the difference between 15 and 34. So the difference between 34 and 11, that's easier, isn't it? So that's going to be a difference of 23. And then to finish the puzzle off, I'm going to find the difference between 23 and 19. Well, they're nice and close. I can just see to get from 19 to 23, I just need 4. So the idea is that you'll do this several times. Start with 4 different numbers, work out your differences and see what you get to. Thing to think about here is it says, if you start with larger numbers, is the number down here going to get larger? So if I now started with 80 and 95, 73 and numbers like that, will I end up with a larger or smaller number down here, I wonder? And then a final sort of gold challenge, if you like, is can you find a way to get a 1 here? What numbers might I start with up here in order to get a 1? So lots to think about there. Go and have a go, play with some 2-digit numbers, see what happens, see what you get in the square at the bottom. Okay, off you go.